Okay, today I'm going to be going over how to repair blue lines and MC7H individual modules. So, you'll see here, we have a blue line in our IM, and I'm going to show you how to repair it. So when we put it on the test bench, we saw that blue line was around here. I actually counted. We count by columns. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns over. The blue line was right here. When we're repairing, we also mark them on the back with a sticker so we know where that is. So now that we know where this is on the IM, we're going to go to the diagram to identify the resistor that needs to be either touched up or replaced. Okay, looking at the diagram here, we've got the pin side over here, so this is like how it would go into the tile. So looking at it, when it's being tested, we saw the 6th one over had the problem, was a blue line. To explain this a little bit better, so this is a left IM that's depicted here. Each of these sets of resistors and ICs controls a little quadrant of these areas. So I've gone ahead and gone through and labeled all of them so that it is easier to know what needs to be repaired based on where your problem is. So in our case, we're going to be going after RP4 as it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. So it is in this section right here. And repairing RP4 will repair any blue lines in this section. If we were to be going after a magenta line, we would be replacing the green resistor. If it was a kind of orangish or yellowish line, we'll be going after the blue resistor. And those are positioned, red are all across the top here, blue is next, or green is next, excuse me, green is next, and then blue is on the bottom. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit here so you can see how these are set up. But we're going after RP4, so that's this one right here, and UR1, that is this guy right here, that represents the red section right here. If you go down, this is UG1, this is the green section, UB1, blue section. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our table and get started on fixing this guy. Now we know that we're replacing resistor number 4 back here. I'll show you how to take this thing apart. The screws have already been removed from the case. So we're just going to take the pins, put them up against something hard, grab onto the outsides of the plastic, and then just kind of push down, and that'll release the IM from the case, and you're just going to peel it apart just like that. I'll put my case to the side. Alright, so you saw in the diagram how we have it with the pin side over here when you're looking at it like this. So we flip it over so that we can actually see where the resistors are and orient ourselves properly. So we know we're replacing RP4, and as per the diagram, RP4 is going to be in this area right here. So we saw it was on the kind of the right hand side. These areas are a little tougher. It's easier to find these things because they're lined up with the holes for the rest of the IM a crossway. But you'll get a feel for where these are as you go. Alright, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a razor knife and very carefully, I know my resistors on the right, and I know that this placement is that it's about right there. So I'm just going to make a little score here. And the good thing is if for some reason I miss, it's not a big deal. I can just make my area of work a little bit bigger. I'm going to give myself a pretty decent amount of space to work with here. Okay, and then I have my little self-made plastic scraping tool to get in here. And if I'm right, then yeah. Alright, I wasn't too far off. So this takes a minute. You're going to want to go ahead and scrape away as much of this silicone as you can from the area that we're going to be working on. See there the label RP4. All right. Little manual layer there. After we scrape away as much as we can, we're going to go in with a bristle brush and just start kind of giving it another scrubby scrub to try to remove some of the stuck on excess silicone that's left behind here. It's never going to be perfect, but the less of the stuff that there is, the less that'll interfere with the iron. All right. Okay. Now that we've scrubbed the area, I'm going to get a little bit closer here so you can actually see what we're working on. Okay, you'll see there's still a little bit of silicone left behind there. So we're just going to kind of lightly, very lightly scrape away this silicone that's around this. Now it's important to be very gentle when you're doing this because you don't want to scratch the PCB and reveal copper that the solder will just try to attach itself to. So what I like to do is I kind of dig in here between these. Usually this stuff comes out. If it doesn't, I'll just go do a downward pass. Again, very gently. Let's see, we're getting the silicone out of these gaps. I'm going to flip this since I'm right-handed. And we'll get back in here, get this side. All right. That's much better than it was. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of reset this solder that's already on here and see if that fixes our problem. I've found that 90% of the time now I'm having to replace these, but never hurts to skip work if you can. Alright, so we're going to stick some flux on there. I'm going to get a small, teeny amount of solder on my iron that I have set to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to kind of give this a little assistance. Heat this back up. You're like, hey, touch those contacts real good. I might put too much on that side. Put some flux over here. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So we stuck the IM back in the test and our blue line is still there, so we're just going to go ahead and replace this resistor. Okay, replacing the resistor is easy enough. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the solder that's holding that in place. So we're going to use our handy dandy desoldering wick, excuse me, in order to do this. Got a little leftover solder on there on the end. Clip that off. Alright, and we are going to prep this with a teeny bit more flux. I know there's some left behind, but it never hurts to have a little bit more, especially for desoldering. Alright, we're going to bring our iron in here, and then we're just going to kind of push down, not super hard, but get back like we're soldering up against this edge, and the wick will just soak that stuff right up. Yeah. Just gonna do a quick second pass to make sure I got everything. Don't feel bad about, you know, doing this. This is a good step. The less solder that's on there, the easier it'll be to remove. Alright. Prep this with a little more flux. Clip off a little more for desoldering. Alright. And we're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on the other side. If you accidentally grab solder from one of the other ICs, don't worry. Just tap it back in there. You see I kind of accidentally grabbed some from one of those other resistors. Not a big deal. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So now that I have most of the solder removed, you guessed it, teeny bit more flux. I usually just put it on top, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my hot air gun. I have this set for 720 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be, you know, an inch or so away, kind of just swirl it over the area to heat it up. Should already be pretty hot from us working on it in the first place. But this will help when we go to actually remove this resistor. Alright, after you've done that for a minute, go ahead and grab handy dandy curved tweezers and go in here and grab around it. Bring my hot air tool back in here, and then I'm going to get it as close to this resistor as I possibly can. I'm even going to use the tweezers kind of as a guide and set the hot air tip against the tweezers. You see, this is not difficult this is not easy because it is very small. After you've held it there for a minute, start to kind of wiggle back and forth. See if we're getting any movement. So far, no. So I'm just going to keep holding this there. Every 10 seconds or so, I'm just going to kind of see where I'm at. Alright, you can see now it's starting to move, but I don't want to go pulling at it yet, because if you go too early and you pull too hard, you're going to remove the resistors, or you're going to remove the, oh, there it goes. You'll accidentally pull the contacts off of the board. When it goes, it goes. You'll feel it. Okay, now that we've got that off, I threw that old resistor away so I don't accidentally get it confused with the new one that I'm about to pull out. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and clean this area off a little bit. Bring my iron back in with some more desoldering wick, and then we're just going to kind of go right up against this and sort of lightly scrape this across the top to flatten out these contacts. We're just removing leftover solder that'll unbalance the resistor when you put it on there. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to prep this area by adding some fresh flux. And then I have my reel here that has my resistors on it. I'm going to pull the tape out, and here I've got resistors under this protective film. Just going to pull back the film a little bit to reveal a resistor, and then I just dump it out on my mat. Alright. So then I'm going to grab the new resistor with my curvy tweezers. And then what I like to do is come in here with the curvy and the straight tweezers. I'll get it in position and just push it against the PCB so it's flat. And then I'll re-grab it with the curvy tweezers so that I can position it properly. But now I know I'm flat against the PCB. To note, these do not have an orientation. It does not matter which direction the 510 faces. You'll see that it's the same as the resistor above for this one, but it does not matter. This can be oriented this way or upside down. It will still function the same. Okay, next step is we're going to go ahead and solder this where it needs to be. So I'm just going to grab a teeny bit onto my iron. And then we're going to come in here, and what I like to do to position these is to grab a corner, get that on there real good. Alright. Oh, I did not get that flat. See how much there was there? Alright, now it's flat. Alright, once I've got a corner on one side, I like to turn it around and go for the other side. That looks pretty good. Alright, now that we've pinned in the other side real good, we'll come back. Just do the same thing over here. Be careful not to use too much solder when doing this. If you do, these joints will solder together and it won't work. Alright, let's stick this on the test bench and make sure that our repair is complete. Alright, we've moved our IM back over to the tester, and we can see now that the blue line is gone. Mission accomplished.